This conference will now be recorded.
A very pleasant morning to everyone present here. I, G. Nikila,
I, Samra,
from the Department of Science, welcome you all to the guest lecture on topic Quantitative Aptitude and Reasoning, organized by Maths Department, St. Anne's Degree and PG College, Mallapur. It's my honor to introduce Ms. T.S. Stravani, the speaker for today's webinar. I'm glad to tell you about her achievements, which is an inspirational for the students community.
in the year 2017, she was awarded Academic Topper and All-Rounder in graduation for Alumni Sentence. In the year 2018, she completed her PG Diploma in Mathematics from Osmania University. In the year 2019, she passed MSc in Statistics from Osmania University in First Class Division. Later, she was selected in the Institute of Banking Personnel Selection 9 and joined Union Bank of India in November 2020, which is the fifth largest nationalized bank of India.
A kind reminder before we get started, we will be having a questionnaire at the end of the session. Feel free to ask your doubts by typing them in the chat box. Now, without much further ado, we'll hand over the session to our speaker.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. Shweta ma'am, a very good morning, and all my fellow mates here. I'm so glad that we all have met in this webinar today. And this is a very nice opportunity to all of us to share our knowledge and learn things which we have to when we go into the coming area of performance. So, ma'am, can I go further and start the session? I request the PPT to be shared. I think Sindhura has prepared the PPT. I request her to share the PPT. Yes. Yeah. So, guys, am I audible first? I just want to ask that.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, you're
Okay. So, I have just taken the topic as speed math and think more. So, yeah, let's start. So, speed math and think more basically is around how fast you are or how fast you think. The coordination between thinking and processing is what will take us forward. See, generally, have you ever thought why the MNCs or a competitive exam always revolves around this quantitative aptitude and reasoning? There can be anything else. There can be something like your subject or statistics or maths or computers or what you will be working on. They don't ask all that. They just ask you quantitative aptitude, reasoning, and English. Since English is a normal medium, they ask you English. That's fine. So why quantitative aptitude and reasoning? Can anyone answer me this? Can anyone answer me this?
Ability to think.
Okay. It gives us the privilege to think. Yeah, right. So, is there any other answer? You can speak, guys. This
To
is
know
a interactive session.
at
Yeah, please.
to know at what levels we think, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. To think at what level? Okay. That's nice. So generally, I'll sum up the answer. Okay.
Logical and thinking.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, So let me just sum up the answer. Why do we need quantitative aptitude and reasoning? The major concept or the concealment behind this is you need to simultaneously process and work on. It is like a CPU basically. It processes and it gives you the output. In a similar way, you need to think and work accordingly. This is what you need to be trained, because see, till the graduation we'll be just studying. We don't do anything more than that. Like we'll be into activities or being in performances or whatever it is, but then you need to work simultaneously, correctly. You work and it has to process properly. That's how it is. So now let's go into why speed math is important. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So why speed math? So okay. So why is speed maths important? It helps to solve a quant problem in 30 to 40 seconds. See, however a problem might be, I think in the coming slides I'll tell you what will be asked in quantitative, the most happening questions or something. Okay. So it you have to solve a problem in 30 to 40 seconds, which will fetch you marks. If you cross that 40-second limit and you score an answer, it is not valid, because see, in 20 minutes, when you have to solve some 30 questions, you need to be quick enough. You have to train yourself to answer or process in 30 to 40 seconds is most important. Okay. Then time saver and competitive. Even if you write quantitative aptitude and reasoning in MNCs or for your, coming up interviews, the one of the step in filtering the candidates is the quantitative aptitude and reasoning, the logical test. So the time saver will put you on the other side of selection or getting down from the level one. So it depends on how quick you are. That means how savvy you are in time. And then enhanced thinking process. See, slowly you develop remembering things, like remembering five, six things at a time. And you have to be observant towards everything. That's what thinking process increasing means. And then basic tables will help. You know, speed math is always around this, numbers. Obviously, math is around numbers. So it is always around tables. You always have to be that calculative thinking. Even if someone asks you what is 18 nines, you should be able to answer. It should be like that. So basic tables up till 2020, 20 into 20 will help. Reduces efforts that need to be put in from scratch. Once you are uh, okay with learning tables, or once you're ready, you're equipped with the tables concept, if you're ready, see, most of us, we are in degree now. I mean, we are done with our degree, or we are about to finish in 1-2 years. We'll be knowing tables up till 12 into 12, that is for sure. But try to increase that level from 12 to 12 to 12 into 20 or 20 into 20 till that. So you have to be sharp from 1 into 20 to 20 into 20. Do not use calculator when you're doing math, the calculations. Please do not use. That's how you train yourself to go forward. Okay. So basically reduce your efforts to put the basically reduce your efforts that have to be put from scratch. Okay, do not try to learn something from the very starting. Learn or train yourself to learn something from from the 50%, which you are like 12 into 12. From there you learn till 12 20 into 20. But do not reduce your performance till by coming down or starting it from the very first moment. That is not right. That will not give you that going forwardness. Okay, so the next slide, please. Yes. So be a spark in calculations if you know the following. Okay, so here I'll share my screen and show you how you have to be, what are all necessary. Okay, from the next slide we'll be sharing. Fine. This will go forward. Okay. So be a spark in calculations if you know the following. What are they? No, no, no. I'll ask again. I'll ask again. Then we will share the screen. Now please show the PPT. Sindhura, will you please show the screen, please?
కన్నా ఇంకో మౌస్ పిన్ను కావాలి నాన్నకు కావాలట
So be a spark in calculations if you know the following. What are they? First thing is tables. Tables up to 2020, right? Which I just told. And then complements of 100. What are complements of 100? We'll discuss. We'll discuss what are complements of 100. Percentages conversions to fractions. Okay. And squares up to 25. See, if you're perfect with the squares up to 25, you will be perfect with 125. Until 125, you'll be perfect. That means squares up to 25 should be on your fingertips. Then cubes up to 20 should be on your fingertips. And then powers of 2 up to 2 power 10, right? And powers of 3 up to 3 power 8. Yeah. And now we go to the next slide. This we will see how to do that. I'll share the screen and show you all. So now let's go to the next slide. Okay. Let us see how do we implement them. Okay. Right. So yeah, now go to the 5th slide, ma. Yeah. Let us see some stuff which is important in math. Now, squares of those numbers which end with 5. Okay, now I'll share the screen. Okay. Will you give me that privilege to share the screen, ma?
Akanksha, make Shravani ma'am presenter now so that ma'am can share a screen.
Yeah. So, are you all able to see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
And anyone respond if my
Yes,
screen
ma'am.
is?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Yeah. Yeah. So now, so any number that ends with 5, we'll look into that first. Like, I need a volunteer. I'll call out the name. Preeti. R. Preeti. Please unmute your mic and answer me. Preeti, are you there? Please unmute your mic. Is there any other who is willing to answer? Because I don't see her answering.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, Preeti. Yeah. Thank you. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So we will talk about 15 square first. What is 15 square?
225.
225, right? What is 25 square?
625. 25.
25.
625. What is 35 square? Difficult, right? A bit difficult.
1025.
1225, not 125. 1225, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So what is 45 square? Difficult, no? A bit difficult. Okay. So I'll tell you what is
Yes,
2025.
2000.
Yeah, 2025. So how do we remember all these? Because if I ask you someday, what is 115 square? I don't think we'll be having calculator for that. No. Then what is 125 square? Difficult to answer. 135 square. Difficult to answer. Let's find a better way to remember these. What is it? Okay, any number that ends with 5, we have a trick for that. What is that? If we will take these numbers because these are known to us, we are familiar with that. Let's take 35 square. Okay, any number ending with 5 square can be written as, write the 5 square at the end. What is 5 square? It is 25, right? And then what is the first digit or the first two digits? We have written the units place, tens place. What is hundreds place and thousands place? Okay. So what is it? Multiply this 3 with the next number. That is the consecutive number. What is 3 into 4? 12. Write it here. So that makes 35 square. Let's try with 45. 45 square is, write 5
20.
square, 25. And what is the multiple of 4 with the next number?
5.
5. 20.
It's 20.
So we got that, right? So let's try for some bigger numbers. I will ask you 125. What is 125 square? 5 square you first write, which is 25. And then 12 into the,
156.
what is 12 into 13? 156. So 125 square is 156 into 156, 25. Okay, let's go with the next one. Let's think of some other number. Let's think of 75 square. It is 25 and then 7 into the next number. 7 into 8 is 56 and 25, right? So just give me a moment. I'll just mute myself for a minute. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Yeah. Let me just clear my screen first and then we'll where is this clear screen?
Select them all and erase.
Which one, ma? Eraser.
Select box. You select, ma'am.
No, I didn't get you.
An option select here, ma'am. Beside this rotate and
Yeah.
resize.
Yeah.
You select and erase, ma'am.
Select all and then erase. Oh, no. No, there is this clear screen option, no?
Just select and cut them all, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just write again. Okay. So now we'll go with some other numbers like 125 we have done, which is 156.25. So try some other numbers like 155 square. See, I have told you you have to be perfect till 20 into 20. Why, if you write this 5 square here and then you need 15 into 16, that is 240. You need to be perfect with this first. Then only you will get this quicker. If you are not perfect with this, then you will start doing it 15 into 16. 6 into 5, 30. Something like that. You'll be doing it sitting here. This is not needed. You shouldn't do this. You should be quick enough to write directly. That's the reason 20 into 20 is much needed. 1 into 20 into 20 into 20. Be perfect with this. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now let's go to the next topic. That is now, yeah, we have written, we have done whatever are ending with 5, we have done. Now let's go with, we have finished the slide 5 now. We're going to the slide 6. I don't want anyone to share it because we'll go, all of these tricks will go in a flow. And then at the end, we will share the PPT whenever required. Okay. So yeah. Next one is squares from 26 to 49. For squares which are from 26 to 49, you should be fast from 1 to 25 first. Okay. Let me just write. I think 1 square is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, and then 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, 225, 256, 289, 324, 361, 400, 441, 484, 529, 576, 625. These are the basic things which you need to remember, right? So this is 1 square to 25 square, right? Now, for 26 square to 49 square, what do you do? First thing is, let's take any number like 36 or 35 square. We know 35 square, which is 1225. Okay, let's take 36 square now. How do you do 36 square? I need a volunteer, please. I need a volunteer who answers me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll not, yeah. Was it Rakshita, right? Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Rakshita, for volunteering. Okay, so 36 square is, we'll do it. Then first calculate it on your calculator and be ready. I think it is 1296. Okay, 36 square is 1296.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, is it? Yeah. Then we'll calculate it now. 36 square. How much is it less than 50?
14.
14,
25.
right? No, it is 14.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So it is less than 50 by 14. Now calculate 14 square.
196.
196. So write the last 2 digits here. Do not write the whole thing. And carry this 1. Put this 1 in your mind. Okay. Now, how much is it more than half of 50? Half of 50 is how much?
5.
25. 25. How much is 36 more than
16.
50? No. How much is 36 more than 25?
9, ma'am.
11, ma'am.
11. Yeah, 11. So add this 1 to that 11. You get 12. That's the answer. If you do it all of these in one day, you will not be getting. But if you practice them, they are very easy. Like if you ask me what is 49 square, I can tell it. How much is it less than 50?
1.
1.
1. So what is 1 square is 1. So write 0, 1. Okay. And then how much is it more than half of 50?
24.
24 more. Write that 24 here. If you have something to add, then you add and write. If you don't have anything to add, just write it the way. That's it. Okay, let me again clear it off and then. Okay, yeah. Okay. So let's just try with some other number. What shall we try from 26 to 49? Anyone?
47, ma'am.
Okay, 47.
45.
Okay, we'll try all these. 45, 47, we'll try. So we know 45 square is 20, 25. We'll try this. Okay, will we get the same thing or not? First, let's try 47 square. How much is it less than 50?
3.
3.
3. What is 3 square?
9.
So write 0, 9. Okay, and then how much is it more than half of 50? 50 by 2 plus something is equal to 47.
22.
What is that? Is it 22? Right. So 22. So 2209 is the square. Right? Now let's calculate 45 square. How much is it less than 50?
5.
5. So what is 5 square?
25.
25, right? 25.
25.
How much is it more than half of 50?
20.
20. Write that.
20.
Clear? So will you all try this? I expect you all to try this. So let's with the same with the same base of 1 to 25. Let's also try 51 to 74. Okay, there's a small difference between this and that. Let's try that. Okay, let me just clear this off again. Okay, so now let's try for 51 to 74. We'll try 65 square first. 65 square is 25. 6 into 7, 42. So this, yeah. Okay, right. So now let's try with this concept. 65 square. How much is it more than 50? There we calculated less than 50. Now we'll calculate more. How much is it more than 50?
15.
15. So what is 15 square?
225.
Carry 2 in mind. Write 25. Okay. Now we have 2 and we have written 25 here and that's 65. So what do you think will be the concept here? There we have calculated half of 50. Now what do you think we'll calculate? Anyone? Try breaking the trick here.
100, ma'am. We'll calculate to half of 100.
Is it like that? If you calculate half of 100, it is 50. But you need to get 42 here. Isn't it? You need to get 42 here. How do you get 42 here? It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. I'll tell you. There's no new thing in this. There is nothing new. There is only adding above 50 is only the new thing. There we have done below 50. This is above 50. That's it. We are around 50 only till now. So it's the same thing. How much is it more than 25? How much is this more than 25? 40. 40 plus
Plus
carry this
2.
2. Write that 42 here. That's it. Like here you have done half of 50 plus the number is equal to 65, right? The same thing. This is also the same thing. Only the difference is how much is it above 50 you're calculating, and here in 26 to 49 it will be below 50. That's it. That there is nothing new. Okay. I'll just draw this here. And just let me clear it again. Okay. 26 to 50 to 74 is the same logic. Clear? Here it is below 50. Here it is above 50. Okay? Yeah. So now let's try something else in between 51 to 74. Any number? Anyone?
23.
73?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. 73. 73 square. How much is it more than 50?
23 times.
23 more. So 23 square first. What is 23 square?
529.
529. Okay, right. Keep 5 in mind, write 29. Okay. So now 5. And then how much is 73 more than 25?
48.
48 more? Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
48 plus 5.
48 plus 5, right. Sharp candidates are there in this batch, right?
53.
How much is that? 53. Anyone calculated it on calculator?
Yes, ma'am. Same answer. 5329.
Good. Yeah. So, initially when you try doing them, please cross check the answers, because you always you need to be intact with this addition, subtraction and all, so that you will get correct answers. Once you try practicing them, after that you need not put calculator beside you. Just for tallying, just to tally, you need to put calculator beside. Okay. So now let's just go with some other number. Okay, we'll go with 67. 67 square. How much is it more than 50?
17.
17. What is 17
ma'am.
square?
289.
289. So 2 and 5, write 89 here. So how much is it more than 25?
42.
42.
44.
So plus 42 more plus 2, 44, right? So okay, let me just clear it off. Okay, so now till now whatever we have learned, we'll just write it. So we have seen squared numbers ending with 5, 65 squared, 75, and then we have learned 26 to 49, and then 51 to 74, isn't it? Are we clear so far?
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so we'll go to the next one. Okay. Okay, what is the next logic that we have to go to? What else do we have? Okay, since we have done till 74, let's go with this concept of 76 to 99 also. Okay, don't be afraid, you will be able to do it with practice. 76 to 99 and till 124, right? First one, let's just go with something like 83 square. Okay, now the base is 100. Okay, now the base is 100. So how much is it less than 100?
17.
17. What is 17 square?
289.
Carry 2, put
289.
89. Yeah, carry 2, put 89 there. So now what do you do? What is the number that you have to get here? I think it is 81. I think it's 81. Just calculate what is the number that you have to get here. Or is it 17? 63, right. It's 17 and 19. It's not. No, it's 68.
Yes, ma'am, it's
Yes,
68.
ma'am. 68.
It's 68. So it is 68 here. How do you get this? How? It's very simple. It's not even complicated like 26 to 49 to 74. It's as simple as, okay, so 83 square, we have written 89 here, and we need to get the balance number. So 83 is 17 less than 100, Anna. Subtract the same 17 from 83. What do you get? What do you get, guys?
66, ma'am.
66, right? Add this 2 here. It is 68. Clear? Let's go with the easy number now. Okay, now we'll go with the easy number. Okay, we know the trick for ending with 5 now. What is 85 square? It is 25 and 72. Okay, this is the trick. We know this. So now let's try with this number. 85 square is, how much is it less than 100?
15.
15. So what is 15 square?
225.
So
25.
Right, 25, carry the 2 in mind. Yeah. So subtract this 15 from 85. What do you get?
70. 70.
70. Add this 2 here.
Plus 2, 72.
72. Clear? Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So we'll go with the number above 100. Okay. So now we have done 74 to 99. Now let's go with 100 and above. Okay, let's take some number like 109 square. Okay. So 109 square. How much is it more than 100?
9.
9. 9. Yeah. So now what is 9
9.
square?
81.
81. We have just a second. So yeah, so it is, we have seen it is 9 above 100, right? Now add this 9 to this number. That's it.
118.
118. Is that the answer? Give a check.
Yes, ma'am, it's the answer.
It's the answer, right? Yeah. So we'll go with some other number like 115 square. We know ending with 5, what is the trick there? 115 square will be 25, and 11 into 12 is 132. Right? So this is the answer. Now we'll try it. How much is it more than 100?
15.
15. What is 15 square?
225.
Right, 25, carry 2 in mind. Okay, so add this 15 to this 125.
30.
130 plus 2, 132.
32.
From 74 to 99, since it was less than 100, we have subtracted the number, like we have done 83 square. We have reduced that 17. Here it is more, so you add that 15 or something. That's the only difference is that. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is a really fetching topic in reasoning or whatever you take. Okay. So next one will be, so we have done how to find the squares till now. Let's find square roots also. How do we find the square roots? Suppose let's take a number something like 4096. 4096 is the square root of 60. I mean, it's a square of 64. I know this because I'm prepared with that. Okay. So how do you tell me 4096? Where does this lie? So it's generally we do it like this: 4096 first this, which we have learned in schooling. But now, what is the difference that you show from schooling to graduation or above that when you're getting employed? How do you do that? So it's 4096. How do you do it is try squaring the numbers to the nearest. Suppose you do 30 square, what do you get? 900. 40 square, 1600. 45 square, sorry, 50 square, 2500. 60 square is 3600. 70 square is 4900. So it lies somewhere between 60 to 70. That is what we have found out. Hai na? So 3600 and 4900 means it lies somewhere in between that. Now you need to see whether it comes between 60 to 65 or 65 to 70. That's what you need to check. So write 65 square. What is 65 square? Anyone? Anyone?
4225.
4225. Yeah, it is 6 into 7, so it is 4225. So this is 4225. This is 3600. This is 4900. So this definitely lies between 60 to 65, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, if you are perfect with the squares, with this one, just a second, let me just highlight it. If you're perfect with this, if you're perfect with this concept, then you will tell where does this lie? Where does this 4096 lie? Why? How? See, this is 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. If it is 61, 62, 63, 64, which number does end with 6?
36.
64. See, 61 square ends with 1, 62 square ends with 4, 3 square ends with 9, 4 square ends with 6. Because so it definitely it is 64. If this number is definitely a square root, then your answer is 64. If I give you something like 4196, it is not a perfect square. You cannot tell that. But generally in competitive, they will give you uh, definitely a perfect square. So your answering will be easy. If they give you something like this, see, if you are perfect with squares, by looking at the number itself, you can tell whether it is a square or not. That's the first thing. And then there is other logic also for this. If you understand it is 60 to 65, you will definitely tell it is 4096. Let's try with some other number now. Okay. Yeah. Let's try with some other number. Let's go with you can tell me any number. Calculate a number and tell me that square. Do not tell me the number, just tell me the square. Anyone. Some number, any number it can be.
7,569, ma'am.
7,000, sorry.
69.
1025, ma'am.
7,569. Other number was
9,025.
any one, please. Gayatri is answering. Tell me, Gayatri.
9025, ma'am. 9,025.
9,025 is the sure short answer, no? It is 95 square. Anyways, we will try that too.
Yes.
7569. 60 square we know, 70 square we know, 80 square, 90 square. So 80 square is 6400 and 90 square is 8100. So it lies somewhere between 80 to 90. 80 to 90. Okay. So what is 85 square now? 85 square is 70 to 25. Right. So this number is somewhere between 85 to 90. So it is 87. 87 square. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how do we do it? Because this is what you need to remember. A trick. Anyway, after doing some 100 numbers, you will be remembering it. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square, 7 square, 8 square, 9 square. So what is 1 square? 1. 2 square? 4. This is 9. This is 16. This is 25. This is 36. 49. 64 and 81. So this is ending with 1, 4, 9, 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1. This is how it is ending, right? This is what you need to know. So it is ending with 9. Which number ends with 9 in between 85 to 90? It is definitely a number ending with 7. So it is 87 square. This is how you need to remember. So now we'll go with 90 square also. Okay. So 9 square is 81. That means it is 8100, and 10 square is 10,000. So this number lies somewhere between 90 to 100. 90 to 100. Now calculate 95 square. What is 95 square? 9 into 10, 90, and 25. So it is 95 square. So clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah. Okay. So let's go with the slide 11, that is 2-digit multiplication. I don't want the slide. Please don't do that. Like, I can tell you this is just an example of squares. We even have for cubes also. Like generally, we have it for cubes also. We just need to go through the concepts of cubes so that we'll get to know that also. Okay. Okay. So let's go with the next one. That is, so who was that? Can everyone please mute their mic except mine?
Ma'am is asking about 11.
Please mute your mics, please. Thank you. So now let's go with 2-digit multiplications, okay, in a single step. Like if we have 57 into 63, suppose if we have this, please, everyone please mute your mics, please. Anvita, please mute your mic. Yeah, thank you. So if we have something number like 57 to 63, how do you multiply? You generally first multiply with 3, write it here, put that as a blank first, and then you write it and then you add it. So it's basically a 3-step process. You do multiplication 2 times and you do addition once. Let's simplify it and make it into a single step now. 57 into 63. Suppose you have to do. Multiply these two as usual. You get 21. Put that 2 in mind. Now cross multiply. What is 3 into 5? 15. Plus 6 into 7, 42. 15 plus 42, try to do it in your mind. Because you do it on paper, you take time. You train your mind to do it faster, you'll do it fast. So it is 3 into 5 is 15 plus 6 into 7 is 42. What is 42 plus 15?
57.
57. Add that 2.
59.
59. Put 5 aside, write 9 here. Now add these two numbers, I mean multiply these two numbers. 6 into 5, 30. Plus 5, 35. Is this the answer? Check it once. 57 into 63.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's try with some other number. 89 into 74. Seems to a bigger number, like it's not that recipient number, right? So let's try with this also. 9 into 4, I mean 4 into 9. 36, write 3 here.
36.
Yeah. So now cross multiply. 8 into 4 is 32. 7 into 9 is 63. If you add, what do you get? 95. 95 plus 3, 98. I put 9 here, write 8 here. It is 8 into 7 is
56.
56.
56. 56 plus 9, 65.
55.
Yeah. So that's how you do it. Let's try with some other number. Any two
65.
numbers, please? Yeah,
65.
any two numbers?
26 into 16.
76 into 66. Okay. So now 6 into 6 is 36. Now cross multiply. This is 42 plus 36. What did 42 plus 36? Do this in your mind. I'm just showing because I'm not giving you that clear arrow indication, so I'm writing it here. What is that? 78. 78 plus 3. What is 78 plus 3? 81. Carry 1, I mean carry 8, write 1. Carry 8. Now this multiplication. 7 into 6 is 42. Plus 8 will give you 50. Are we correct? Are we correct? This is just check it
Yes,
once.
ma'am.
76 into
Correct.
66. Okay. So now,
Yes, ma'am. 501.
okay. So now let's try with some number like any two numbers again. Some big number, tough numbers it should be.
89 into 92.
89. Multiples with 2 are easy. Shouldn't give some numbers like that. Let's try with 97. Okay. Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
7 into 9 is 63. Cross multiply. 8 sevens are 56. Plus 9 into 9 is 81. 56 plus 81 is 137. 137 plus 6, 143. 1 4 carry, write 3. Multiply these two now. 9 into 8 is 72. 72 plus 14. What is 72 plus 14? 86.
86.
Right? Are we correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's about multiplication, right? Now let's go with the same thing with a 3-digit number in a single step. Suppose we take 123 into, okay, let me write in a bigger way because it is a bit difficult to carry out. 123 into 645. Let me write this correctly. 645. Okay. Now let's multiply these two first. What is it? 15. Multiply these two. 10 and 12. 5 into 2 is 10. 4 into 3 is 12. 10 and 12 together is 22. We have to carry this 1. So 22 plus 1 is 23. Put this 2 in your mind. Okay. Now, cross multiply like this. Like this you need to. Like 5 into 1, 6 into 3, 4 into 2. 5 into 1 is 5. 6 into 3 is 18. 5 plus 18 is 23. Plus 4 into 2 is 8. 23 plus 8 will give you 31. 31 plus 2.
33.
33. Put that 3 here. Carry that 3. Now cross multiply these set. 4 into 1 is 4. 6 into 2 is 12. 4 plus 12 gives you 16, plus 3 is 19. 1 in mind, put 9 here. Now cross multiply these two, multiply these two numbers. 6 into 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Is this the answer? 123 into
Yes,
645?
ma'am.
Is it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's it. See, this multiplication of 3 times or something looks complicated until you practice. Once you start practicing them, see, one day you do 20 problems like this, 123, 645. You put your own numbers and do it 20 times. The second day you don't feel it to be difficult because you have already done 20. Like that, this 2-digit multiplications also try to do it like that. You will be able to do it easily. Okay. Carry out stuff or carry out the problems which looks complicated, but doing it will be easy. Okay. Train yourself like that. Train yourself to solve a complicated problem in the easiest way, in the shortest time possible. That's how people will get filtered in the next step to the below step. That's how people will get selected too. Now I want the slide 13 to be played. Okay, I will stop sharing my screen here, and I want the slide 13 to be played. Yeah. Okay, we have done all this. Okay, so the majority of quant topics. What are the major quant topics that we have? The first one is the equations and RPV. Equations are like, we have done this like linear equation, solving the values of x and y. If you remember, 3x plus 4y is 20 and 5x plus 10y is some 30. Find the values of x and y. Train yourself to be quick. You will be able to do these questions. RPV is ratios, proportions, and variations. Okay, it is just basically called ERPV: equations, ratios, proportions, and variations. If you're good in multiplications, you will do well in ratios and proportions. Variations, you need a bit training. And then when we talk of percentages, I will tell you how to remember the percentages. I'll write it on the board. Just take a screenshot or of it, so that will be easy, or we can do that in the next session. And then simple interest and compound interest. This is a topic that takes you time. See, I have written it here: percentages, simple equations, and compound equations. Simple interest and compound interest. Um, it's not P and C, it is P and L. That is profit and loss. Okay, and that is AVA is averages, mixtures, and allegations. It is MM. Okay, I wrote it wrong. Sorry. Averages, mixtures, and allegations. And then it is simplification. Simplifications is like, how many of you all remember this BODMAS rule?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So it is a BODMAS rule. The simplifications runs all around BODMAS. But without practice, if you sit in the sit in the exam, you will do one question for 2 minutes or something. It's a waste of time. Okay. Then we have time in work. Then we have time in distance, and we have quadratic equations. These are the majority of topics which will decide, which is a deciding factor whether you will be going to the next step or you'll fall down. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so data interpretation. How do you interpret the data? How quick are you in understanding the given data? See, data will not be given in the form of a topic or a paragraph or something. Okay, it will be given in you all are statistics students, you might be knowing. If you are even electronic students, you'll be knowing how your friends will be dealing with this data, the tables, and all of that. You'll be given a pie chart or a bar chart. You will be given a pie chart, a bar chart, and a histogram in a single question. You need to interpret data from all these three tables or all these three charts, and then you need to put in all these inputs to solve one question, and you have to do that in 40 seconds. This will be done only if you remember the basic concepts of quant, that is this multiplications, tables, or percentages, or complements of 100, or 2 power 10, or 3 power 8. These are the basic things which you need to complement yourself to get into the next level. Okay, so yeah, the next one. Next slide, please. Okay. So when you attend the quant section for getting a job or not, your practice of sharpening your mind will take you forward in your future endeavors. Practice, practice, and practice. That's it. That's the most important thing. Next one. Because you are no less than gems, please try to practice. Next one. Think more. Think more section is nothing but the reasoning. Okay. Uh, Reasoning, when your work begins from general information to more specific, then it is a part of deepening the target, which is the most important part of reasoning. See, reasoning questions look very simple. They look extremely damn simple. They look, but when you try answering them, you go halfway and you think, let's leave it because you're not able to crack it. That's how it looks. Now, initially, if you read a question, yeah, we can solve this. That's how you feel. But later on, when you start digging the question, you feel like let's leave it and go to the next one because this is taking time. But when you work, or when your work around when your work environment is to think or to analyze or something, you can't walk away from that. You can't skip that. So that's the reason why reasoning is important. Next one. Next slide, please. Think more. So what are the basic things in reasoning? There is logical reasoning, there is critical reasoning, there is non-verbal reasoning, and there are puzzles. Okay, the next one. So what is logical reasoning consisting of? There are many factors that play in logical reasoning. Consistency, logical equivalence, universality, and judgmental. See, when you solve that logical questions, your consistency is most important. You have to solve questions. See, suppose uh, you are given a puzzle. Suppose logical reasoning also includes puzzles, some kind of puzzles. So if you have to crack the puzzle, it has some 5 questions related to it. Suppose you crack the puzzle wrong, your puzzle went wrong, and all the 5 questions will answers also will be wrong. Your consistency is zero then. So that's how it plays an important role. And judgmental. So do not look at the question and judge the question. Try to solve it and then answer it. See, some questions will be like you will be given some shortcuts when you are preparing. Like in reasoning, shortcuts will not work. That's the reason I'm not giving any shortcuts in reasoning, because uh, it is most important to understand, analyze the question, and then solve it. Do not go with shortcuts in reasoning. This is a big no. Is that clear? Then logical equivalence. Logical equivalence generally is, suppose a statement is given to you and you try to answer it. You always need to be thinking of it, or you need to answer it in a way that the author wants you to do. Do not think of yourself. Okay. Universality. Do not think of universality in logical reasoning. Go to the next slide, please. Consistency. What is consistency? A statement is true only for the question, but not for every question. Do not suppose there is a puzzle which says if X is the father of B, then what will be the relation? Do not take that relation to the next question. If the next question says uh, what is the relation of B and Y? Do not take that X is the father of B in the second question. Do not do that, because it is just to trick you whether you carry forward the same thing or not. No, it's a big no. Then logical equivalence. If P is equivalent to Q, that means P and Q are logically equivalent. If P is equivalent to Q, then Q is equivalent to P. This is understood. Every statement is logically equivalent to itself, only to itself. Do not take it to the next one. Next slide. Universality. Do not compare a given question with a universal fact. If the question says sun rises in the west, you have no choice. You have to take that forward with the same point. Do not compare it with a universal fact and say, no, this is not true. I don't accept the question. Don't do that. It's the question, sun rises in the west is in the west. That's it. Do not carry the universal fact with that. Okay, if it says Mahesh Babu is a female, and then something, do not take it as no, Mahesh Babu is a male. Don't take it like that. According to the question, however it is, you take, because questions will be framed in such a manner to put you in danger there, put you in a state where you commit mistakes. You should be clear of such things. And judgmental. Never ever judge a statement before completely going through the data. That's what I told. Do not ever judge the question, or do not judge the question and answer it. Go through the data completely and then answer. I repeat, never. Okay. Next one. Okay. So what is critical reasoning? Critical reasoning is a stuff that generally people don't touch it, because you feel it's 100% right and it goes 100% wrong. Generally people do not touch critical reasoning unless and until there is no other go, because it is like, you need to think in the perspective of author. It's never in your perspective. It's completely the author's perspective. We do not know how that person is framing it. So critical reasoning has the statements and assumptions, statements and conclusions, statements and inferences, decision making, and statements and comparisons. This is how it is. Next one, non-verbal reasoning. Non-verbal reasoning, it's a big thing. um, it's a very tricky topic. If we have the further sessions, then I'll take you with this non-verbal reasoning also. It is generally in competitive, like even in the logical tests of MNCs also, you get this non-verbal reasoning part. Let's see. This is not that difficult though, but it looks difficult. Yeah, to the next one. Puzzles. Your reasoning or your scores in the whole competitive depends on this reasoning. If you touch it, they have to go correct. If they are wrong, you will fall to the 0 level. You have to start from scratch again. So the puzzles are linear arrangement, circular, tabular, and blood relation arrangement. These are the basic things. So like linear arrangement is like how, see, some 5 people are sitting in the north, A, B, C, D, E. Then some relation will be given, some statements will be given. You need to arrange them in an order. That's how it is. And then circular arrangement. Circular arrangement is what? Some 10 people are having lunch in a restaurant. They are sitting in, they sat in an order, in the following order. They give you some statements and you need to arrange them. So some B is sitting to the left of C, and C is to the right of B, fifth position, something like that. So you need to arrange. Then tabular arrangement. Tabular arrangement is something like, so 10 friends, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, are in an apartment. They are staying in an apartment. They like to visit to 10 different places in the coming weekend, and their favorite colors are so and so. So you need to attribute each and every person with the place and with the color in the following floor, because they stay in 10 floors. That's how the tabular arrangement will be. Blood relation arrangement will be like, A is related to B, B is related to C, with some relations, and they are sitting in a circular position for having lunch. So since B is not talking to C, B and C had a quarrel. They're not talking, but their relation is this. This is how it will be given. You need to solve that. There'll be 5 questions for that. 5 questions will be given. You need to solve one puzzle to crack that 5 questions. But if you solve the puzzle wrong, if you don't crack it properly, all your 5 questions you'll score 0 in it. That's how it is. So the next puzzle. Miscellaneous reading tips. Miscellaneous reading tips. No, it's miscellaneous reasoning topics. Okay. Deduction, symbols and notations, coding and decoding, series and input output. Basically the most important topics of reasoning are the puzzles, but the most scoring are these miscellaneous topics, because you score they do not need that much deepening or that much target oriented. They're not that target oriented questions, but they give you a lot of scoring. Okay, the next one. Think, and think. Do develop the habit of observing things from underground level to the topmost level, right? And then it will definitely help you understand the originality of the data, right? Okay. So I think you all have understood in the whole session about that. Next slide. Okay. Doubts will definitely be addressed. Shoot, I'm ready if you have any doubts. Any doubts? Can I consider this as no? Okay. Okay. So the next slide, please. Invest in developing knowledge and it will repay the best thing that you want from life. Definitely develop your knowledge or develop your thinking process that will take you forward. Okay. Yeah. The next one. Thank you everyone for your patience, for taking me in and being this patient for 1 hour and waiting for this, and being here on this weekend is a special thing because I have been busy all this week and we couldn't take time in the weekday. So I am so happy to interact with you all, and if you want me to take sessions regarding this, you can definitely ask Shweta ma'am and she'll get in contact with me about this. Okay. So thank you ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone. Shweta ma'am, I'm done with the session. You can ask me to speak.
Yeah, thank you, Ravani ma'am. I hope our students got so benefited with your session. They have learned many things from you today. So, Nikhila, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Now, now I introduce Akansha to take the vote of thanks.
A pleasant day, everyone. I, Akanksha, leader of Maths Department, SciPi Club, would like to propose vote of thanks. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks for an amazing session like this. I would like to thank our guest speaker, Miss T.S. Shravani ma'am, for making time for us and taking up a knowledge gaining session for us and teaching us so many tricks to calculate maths. I would also like to thank our beloved principal, Reverend Sister Emmy Gracie Vass, HOD ma'am, Mrs. Y. Hemalata ma'am, and in charge lecturers, Mrs. Shweta ma'am and Mrs. Sujata ma'am, for organizing a session like this and educating us in all the possible ways. Last but not the least, I thank our beloved audience for making this session a success. Once again, I thank one and all. Now, I request all participants to fill the feedback forms. Link will be circulated in your respective WhatsApp groups. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Thank you, everyone, for joining on Sunday, ma. You all can leave. Shravani, ma'am, thank you so much. After request even accepted us on Sunday also. Thank you so much, ma'am.
It's a pleasure to be all with you all. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, girls.